of which, there's social media, which I know you're a big fan of. we live in an instantly transparent world.
Oh, man.
Bereft of connection, right? Which, of course, is pouring fuel on that fire. How do we accommodate that?
That's a good question. I think
I told you I put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think too many people make light of their addiction to social media.
Right.
Of their addiction to likes, of the dopamine that is forced into our brains through a glowing rectangle. And it's rough. I mean, if you really like break down the normal life of somebody, is they wake up, they stare at a small glowing rectangle for a little bit, then they stare at a medium rectangle for a little bit during their day. Then they eat dinner, and then they sit down with a big rectangle glowing at them while they look at a small rectangle glowing at them, and then they go to bed. Like, what kind of a life is that?
What are we doing?
Well, you're patched in. Like, we thought the Matrix was going to be, these tubes and these giant, like, fake wombs. No. It's you being tethered to Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Yeah. How do we accommodate that within... there's some organizations, of course, that are making rules about phones and such. And I see a lot of people, and I don't know if it's really going well, I see a lot of people walking around with 2 phones because you're not supposed to conduct business on your personal phone. And so they'll be talking on their business phone while they're looking at their personal glowing rectangle. I like that expression. This isn't a good thing.
No, I would argue it's not. So here's the deal. Even years ago, I think we could see that the phones were a problem. Do you remember like Crackberry? Yes. Everybody had Blackberries, yes. And I remember like people just like addicted to it, sitting in meetings, right? Like this is gonna place that. I had a company issued Blackberry at one time, and I'd sit in the meetings playing Brick Breaker while everybody else was paying attention. But every single individual is constantly being influenced by the things in their life, whether it's their relationship with their friends, text messages, emails, social media. We're constantly being influenced. And so they estimate that what an individual is bombarded with over 10,000 advertisements in a single day. If we go back 100 years, that's more than an individual would face their entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And we're facing it every single day.
Yeah.
We're constantly being influenced, every single one of us. Like, I use this example a lot of my talks where I ask, okay, who here reads, watches, or listens to the news in the morning before work? And you get a bunch of people raising their hands, and I say, you should stop it. And then people laugh. They go, it's like, hold on. Like, because the whole thing is like, no, Josh, I'm an adult. I can read the news and not allow it to affect me. But I would argue that we're just as susceptible to being influenced as children are, because we know children are easily influenced, right? Like, don't hang out with little Jimmy.
Right.
Or don't watch that television show because they're bad influences. But yet, somehow, as adults, we're immune to that. Au contraire, mon frere. I would argue that as adults, we are just as susceptible to being influenced, but we have 2 things that children don't have. We have the ability to justify doing things that are detrimental to us psychologically, and then we have the ability to rationalize the results of those bad decisions. So if follow me, right?
Yeah.
If you're still skeptical, have you ever gotten into a disagreement with a loved one before work?
Oh, yes.
How was the rest of your day?
Crappy.
It was, right? Everyone's cutting you off on the freeway. Somebody parked in your spot in the parking lot, but it's not assigned spots, but they know that I park there. And then Susan's waiting at my desk to show me pictures of her cat post-surgery.
I forgot to put my lunch in the Hot Logic.
Yeah, you forgot to put your lunch in the Hot Logic. And what shouldn't have been a bad day, but had this tiny little bad influence at the beginning of the day, has now turned into this whole thing. Right. And so I'm not saying never look at the news. I'm saying don't start your day from that place, because it impacts how you perceive the rest of your day. You're priming the pump for the interactions you have the rest of the day. And if we're not being vigilant about knowing what we're cognizantly allowing into our brains, right, it can really affect us in how we view everyone else. Right? All it takes is one snide remark to ruin my week, or one small compliment to make my day. We wield a tremendous amount of influence in the lives of the people that we come in contact with as well, but we are constantly being influenced, but it happens on such a subconscious level we don't even realize it. The doom scrolling that I see people doing that just sucks them in, and they wonder why they have anxiety. We talked about this the other day. Of course you have anxiety. You drink 2 gallons of coffee and listen to true crime podcasts. Yeah, you're going to have anxiety after that.
Yes, true crime.
People, they fall into patterns, especially with social media. They fall into patterns. You know what? A cool thing that I heard somebody did recently to trick their brain, right? Because everybody knows exactly where their apps are on their phone, is to shift all of your apps around on your phone. So you change all the pages where all your apps are, so you don't know where anything is. And if you have to go and search for that app, you're going to pause for a second and ask yourself, do I actually want to go on that app? And it's actually a really neat exercise in retaking control.